Good morning, fellow zombies. Another dark log from the diary of a griever named John Weaver, which is me. Yeah, it's the 13th of December, 2025. It's 13 after 3 in the morning. I'm still trying to keep an eye on my dog every once in a while. Waking up every so often just to see if she's still alive and breathing. And she is. She was a few minutes ago anyway. So, woke up just to see what else kind of news breaks are going on. The zeros and ones of the algorithms on YouTube have pictured the confrontation with Trump and the CNN group. He likes to mess around with the news groups. In fact, he was saying something to piss people off, and he didn't give a shit about it in the first place. He was saying that somebody ought to buy off CNN. Well, they've been bought by one or two groups here and there throughout a decade and a half. What the hell he wants? Basically, he wants the news groups to shut up. If they're Democrats, they've got to shut up. They're not praising Trump enough. Not feeding into his ego. They're asking journalistic questions. And he doesn't want that. He just wants people to fawn over him anyway. So yeah, Joe Scarborough had been a lifelong conservative in the Republic. And he'd been in Congress for a while. He did his tour of duty in there. But he was also saying the change is happening with the political system one way or another. So he his companion Mika doing before MS Now changed into it. They were with MSNBC and doing their morning show for a while. That included during the time when Trump was trying to get his empire started in the political real, in the political, in the political field. He's trying to get that out. But with his comment and snarky remarks and just a little, I can't believe this is happening here. I mean, oh, stuff the royal, the self-righteousness and the indignation of you. I guess that's what some people like in the first place. You're so indignant and they're all pissed off all the damn time. Trump doesn't care except about Trump. We all know that, and you keep saying that too. And at this point, since he's got everything, including his own mental collapse and his life is going to be ending shortly, he's going to be bombastic as hell. He's going to be pushing and prodding on people because he wants to see what's going on. He hates it when people go against his own empire of his mind. He's already destroyed part of the part of the White House. And he still plans to get that big, beautiful ball. And it's not going to happen. You got to be charged with devastation of a landmark, of a government property. But the problem is because he's covered by SCOTUS's ruling, he really can do anything he wants. That's what gives him the arrogance. And he got the ruling when Biden was in office because we still had conservative assholes during that time. That practically insulated Trump from a lot of shit happening. So Trump's going to say and do shit because he's got the immunity from SCOTUS. But as other scholars have indicated, that doesn't protect the rest of his staff. It only protects him because there was a lawsuit between him and the United States. Well, we'll see how this happens if or when the midterms prove that we're going to get another president. Now, if Trump happens to die before then, a lot of people are praying on that one. J.D. Vance picks up. And then he's got to pick out a vice president. Currently, I don't know if there's going to be anybody else, except maybe move Stephen Miller into the vice presidency. And then we're really fucked. Deputy Chief of Staff becomes Vice President to J.D. Vance, just to finish out a Trump term. It's only going to get worse. Or maybe we'll get the asshole who started up the Heritage Foundation, who's working for the Office of Office of Management and Budget. They could be selected for vice president. Knock out J.D. Vance, and this asshole becomes king of the world. But right now, because Trump's still in office right at this moment, and he's talking to people left and right, he wants to be the king of the world. He thinks and he feels he should be part of the king of Europe. He's talking about it. Some people actually think he's joking around about it. No, he's not. He already made illusions of grandeur of trying to get Canada as the 51st state, and they're not going to go by it. And he also made military overturns to Greenland, which pissed off Denmark and everybody else, Scandinavian countries, not to mention the United Nations and NATO. And with his insanity, he wanted to go after drug boats with the biggest damn aircraft carrier stationed out there, and they're wondering, why are they there? There's no Navy out there for them to challenge or to be challenged. They moved out from the Mediterranean. We'd have thought there was action out there. But he pulled him out. He did. But he's keeping our newest warship and all the fuel and all the supplies they can get, stocking up on poor Puerto Rico, making it into a military base instead of a tourist trap. And I suppose the cruise lines are going to be crazy enough right now not to do anything stupid. A lot of their businesses, from Galveston all the way up to New York, were doing the Caribbean. Where else are they supposed to go? So they're interfering with that, with the cruise market. Now, I wasn't keeping track of it for the past 2 or 3 weeks, but I got a feeling that some of the cruise operators and travel agents who keep going on YouTube on terrace, God be with him, and God keep that immortal corpse of his running. Tony Barnett, Emma Cruises. Well, Emma's in London based, or England based. And there's other guys out there. I don't know offhand. Know some of the faces, but not offhand on that one. And I suppose they've been marking down what's been happening these days. How the National Transportation Board screwing over people left and right. But not to mention State Department and anybody else has been working with or against the cruise industry to make sure that any visa requirements are going to be harder and harder to deal with, not to mention passports. And then there's the status of being an American with a passport going abroad outside the American waters or beyond America's influence, that they're going to be open season out there one way or another. Canadians having a trouble trying to get into the United States to fly to do the cruising, and having issues with the TSAs. If they're white and they're speaking almost American enough, they can try getting away with it. But if not, they'll look at the passports and they're going to get in trouble with it. There's already been people at the border, TSA agents have been driving Canadian residents nuts with the dual citizenship, haranguing them for a while and then leaving them alone. It's basically, we're telling the world, you can't come here. Our businesses are going to be screaming. No, they have been screaming for a long while. But our current regime that we have in office, we still have to wait until next year's midterms coming up. They're going to be doing more and more issues with people coming into the country with visas, with the passports. And they're also being selective if you're white enough and can afford this $1 million visa that'll get you as a citizenship somehow. Trump's doing that to get the rich people here so he can milk and bilk them. It's bad enough he's got his son-in-law out there doing it for him for decades, or for a decade. Not to mention his daughter. All keeping out of the limelight, but they're still in the limelight overseas. Just over here, they're not covered as much. And when you have a senator, a Republican senator, actually a Trumplican senator, who puts in a bill into the Senate of saying that we're taking away your dual citizenship. They're going against the Constitution at this point. They have to put an amendment in there because I don't think a bill is going to be working with it. But they're trying. It'll fail. Because we do have some citizens out there still dual citizenship, even in Congress. I'm not sure which ones, but I know there's a few of them over there. But this one asshole of a senator who wants complete belief in the United States of America. No, it's the United States of Trump, an asshole. Because you're kissing his ass more and more. And Steve Miller's ass, and Heritage Foundation, and God knows who else is controlling your ass. As the rest of the quote-unquote Americans here, we're hearing the bullshit coming out of Trump's mouth and everybody else saying that the economy's fine, it's doing great, while we're seeing the prices increase. I had to do another lighter toned video about my shopping of DoorDash as we're using prices to our local grocery and Amazon as well. Now, I know you guys have an issue concerning about corporate. We got no choice but to shop through a corporate. We don't have a Kroger out here in Roseman, we have Albertsons. And we don't have a Kroger up in Mojave. We got a Stater Brothers. We got several stores out in Lancaster, California, not to mention in Palmdale, California. We have different store chains that are run by billionaires. We have 99-cent stores. We have Food for Less. We got Walmarts. We're in the midst of corporations. And even this thing, a representation for a corporate out here, I'm dependent upon for life support. I've been noticing the prices on Amazon, and Amazon has been posting them for several things. Try getting at least a $7 or $8 package of 24 ramen noodle packages that one could use for survival, jumping up to at least $10 or $11, depending on the manufacturer, brand name on it. One brand still about 6 or 7, and I'm holding on to that one because the other brand I'm using, Marichon, has increased about 12 to nearly 17 for a package of 24 individual ramens. We're almost talking about $1 a piece. Of course, if I wanted to get some Earl Grey tea, it's going to be less than that. If I wanted to get noodles, it's going to be more than that. How did tea become less and less? While my dog snores, I still got The laptop waiting, buried alive with bugs as usual. Shall we?